Yeah, like Mrs. Pincus and I explained at the last board meeting, we went through the whole process of how this is done. This is the most recent, as of like about 4:30 this evening, of our enrollments in the elementary schools in the district. And you'll see that, I don't believe we did this, I think we did it by alphabetical order last time, the chart you saw, but this chart, we thought organized it a little bit better. So we have the elementary schools grouped by their sending middle school unit. All right, so the first unit is the Bayshore unit, and you'll see, Bayview, Fairview, Leonardo, and Navesink. And in those schools, there are classes that are close to their limits. From grades K through 3, we have a class limit of 25. We had 27 in grade 3, but we pushed that down to 25 seats in the 3rd grade, kindergarten through 3rd grade, and 4th and 5th is 27 seats. So you will see some classes that are closer to the max and others that aren't within that sending unit to Bayshore, but we don't have any actually at that max right now. When you go to the Thompson unit, you will see we have 2 classes at max, others are lower. And this is something that we deal with all the time because of the enrollments aren't even, not even within grades, but within schools. So you will have larger class sizes and smaller class sizes, but that's why we put the cap so that nobody goes over a certain limit. Before the cap, there were schools that were a little higher and other schools that were lower. This makes it as even as we can with 12 elementary schools. Where we did have, on our last chart, which red, you can't see it on the bottom, but there's a red indicates that we're over the cap. That used to be, when you saw the last chart, 103 at 1st grade in Nut Swamp. We have added a section in there, so there's 5 sections there now instead of 4. 3 students is a lot to move. What we were doing for the past few years, if we were 1, maybe 2 over in a section, we may, anybody that's newly enrolled into that section, we may move to a different school in the same sending unit. 3 students is a lot, so we were able to add another teacher into that section with budgeted staff members. And then as you go on to the Thorn unit, there are actually 4 sections in that unit that are at cap, but they're not over cap. And we did send a new student from Port Monmouth to a school, that's our practice, that just registered this week. So, what we're looking at is nobody's over. And those are the numbers as of today. And we are still, believe it or not, getting a lot of registrations. They're still coming in every day and registering. So these numbers are not set at this point either. Do you want to add anything?
Just that we continue to monitor middle school and high school. Mm-hmm. If you have a middle school or high school student, you know that the schedules were released. Students are requesting changes, as is typical every year. We do have some classes at Thompson that we are experiencing that right now in a snapshot prior to changes that occur naturally when you move one class. It affects other classes on your schedule. We do have some classes at Thompson that are at 29 or 30. They're primarily in the 8th grade because that's their largest class. It's the last one to age out that's large. We did not reduce any core content staff teachers or classroom teachers at any of the middle schools, but there are constraints that certain choices that students make cause fluctuations in class sizes. For example, if you don't get enough kids sometimes to register for honors level courses in language arts or math, it can impact the regular size sections. If you get too many, then you have to, maybe you're 1 over and you're not going to tell a student that they can't take honors when they've qualified, so maybe that honors level runs at 29 instead of 28. So it's things like that. And at the high school, we don't have any core classes that are over 28 right now, where Mr. Vanella was working and Miss Nicholas on that every day. So we will continue to monitor as the schedules change, and if we need to make any adjustments. It's early to do that because up until about 2 weeks after the school year starts, students in middle school and high school will typically make changes. So you could make adjustments now that 2 weeks from now don't make sense. So we like to give it some time to let them live their schedule. Sometimes they start classes like honors level courses, and they decide it's not for them. So what looks like 29 students in a class right now, in 2 weeks could be 22 students or 24 students. So we like to give that, like I said, some time to make some natural adjustments that will occur. Every year we see that, and class sizes tend to kind of equalize themselves because of those natural changes.